So Bob and I wanted to do a show together, and we tried to find a script
that didn't deal with disability issues.
We wanted some sort of high-stakes conflict between two characters, whether they be brothers or business partners or whatever, and that's how this whole thing started.
We couldn't find any.
So we solicited writers, and that's when we hooked up with Mr. Kerr.
Bob actually last fall called me up while I was, he was acting in the show I'd written, and they were in rehearsals, and he called me and said that he gave me the whole story of how he and James had this idea of doing a show together, and that they had some challenges trying to find a script that was right for the two of them, and then they decided just to make their own, and so they invited me to get on board and to work on text.
And Bob came up with this crazy idea of doing a skydive.
Yeah.
And I quickly dismissed it, and I said, no. Well, I happen to know this guy, Sven Johansson, and I met him a few years ago at Kickstart, and he has these dance instruments.
When I started doing dance choreography, after a couple of dances, I realized there was something absolutely missing in dance, and artistic dance, on stage and alive, is the only form of art that is negatively influenced by gravity. Nothing else is. Right. So then, of course, I wouldn't take that as an impossibility to free the dancers from the gravity. So when I planned the third dance, I just got into this, and was very quickly done to solve the problem of moving the dancers.
And this is exactly what's happening here. We've got these great instruments that give us this whole new physicality, whole new idea of what staging can be for this show, and we're starting in that physical space. So for me, it's really great that it just inspires all sorts of possibilities in terms of images, and which then lead to ideas of scenes or interaction or conflict.
And surprisingly enough, it works. Like all the ideas that all the ideas that we're pumping out and generating, we kind of say, well, let's see what happens, and these instruments are doing it. Sven's choreography, it all seems to be working out just the way we imagine it in our heads.
You can be completely precise. So when you rehearse the operators and the dancer precisely, they can actually meet with two fingertips right mid-air, you see.
It's an amazing project, and it's really exciting to work in more dimension than just the flat on the stage, and it opens up so many new possibilities.
Here is the position of the operator. So of course he can then turn, and then here he can shift from side to side.
It's a lot of weight we're moving around, and so it's because we've just started working with the instruments. I don't feel that I'm used to how they move yet, so it's getting used to the movement, the weight, transferring the weight. Things like the turns and things like that are hard. It would be nice to have, once we get more time with them and we have worked with them for longer, I feel like I'll have more of a feel for the kind of dance that goes on my end of it, and that'll make things a lot smoother.
You can go 360 degrees if you have space for it, but it's basically used for going from side to side. And here, of course, it's up and down, you see.
Right.
So you have the possibility to position a dancer or an actor anywhere you want in the three-dimensional space on the stage.
Yeah, I was struck immediately by just the poetry of the movement, even in the simplest kind of moves, even when they're just sort of floating around and we're just trying it out. There's something very poetic about that quality of the movement. And for me, as a kid, I always liked basketball a lot, and I liked dance that was physical and in the air, and the whole concept of defying gravity I enjoy, and this takes it to a whole other level.
There is a choreographed movement by the operator of the whole instrument, and the position of the actor or the dancer in space. And then out in the end of the instrument, in the harness, or in this instant in the chair, well then they are doing then movements, choreographed movements And the combined movements by the operator and the dancer actor is what the audience will see.
It's costuming actors that can fly. It's putting costumes on actors that are up in the air and dealing with the instruments themselves, trying to create the illusion that they're not even there. The third dimension means that because they can fly, that their costumes aren't the standard traditional costumes from any other theater piece that I've done.
Right.
It's a great challenge. I'm looking forward to it.
It's really interesting writing for. There's a local theater guy kind of coined an expression of design-based dramaturgy. The idea of taking design elements earlier on into the process of play creation than we normally see them happen.
And that's the great thing with these instruments too, is that you can sort of say, well, what if we just did this? And you could never do it on a normal stage. Well, what if we were kayaking down a river? Okay, well, we can do that.
And now we can get the movements. You know, we can
spin around, flip upside down.
And that's
so you go, well, what else can we do? What else can we push the limits of it? So you start to really think outside of the box, you know, outside of the black box.
Yeah, and really into like the whole three-dimensional playing space above the stage, which I feel really is yet to be explored.
Oh yeah.
It just takes the writing process into a totally physical space, which is fantastic, and it's great for the three of us to be able to sit around and say, you know what, I'd love to see a scene where a pool table floated out in space and they were shooting pool while in midair or something. It's like, great, let's try to make that scene happen.
In what we're doing now, we don't worry too much about light, so you can see the whole procedure. When we seriously go on stage, when you have proper light design, you see, you'd stop the light just behind it here. From there is darkness right back to the operator, so you don't see the instrument nor the operator. So all you see that is properly lit is the dancer or the actor, you see. So it becomes quite supernatural.
The other great thing about this too is that these instruments have been used in other plays before. You know, Peter Pan and Fiddler on the Roof, and Leonardo da Vinci and Belfry, and they're always used constantly in dance around the world. But they've never been used for the entire time. I think the entire show, the entire play. They've always been used for 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes maximum. And our goal is to use them for 90 minutes, the entire show, and not get out of the instruments until after the curtain call. And,
or
and that's
during the curtain call.
Yeah, and that's something that's totally new and something that's really exciting as well, because it has